This video is brought to you by Straight Goods News, Canada's alternative online news source. Visit straightgoods.ca.
My name is Marianne Hladun, and for the last 23 years, I've been with what is now called Canadian Food Inspection Agency. 15 years as a clerk, and for the past 8 years as an inspector. In that time, inspection frequencies have reduced, entire programs have been cut, sampling and lab analysis have been reduced or contracted out, and inspections have gone from hands-on to paperwork reviews. But this isn't about me trying to save my job. This is about saving and preserving lives. This is about the government investing in necessary resources like equipment and training and ensuring we have enough people on the ground to do the job that we know we need to do. This is about Canadians having a sense of assurance that when they go to the store, that when they fill their plate or when they go to feed their children, they know that someone has done everything possible to ensure they suffer no harm. The best day for me as an inspector is a day when the Canadian public has no idea that I've done my job. They have no idea that during a routine inspection, I identified a critical food safety concern and product was stopped from reaching your local grocery store. They have no idea that as we speak, inspectors across the country are spending hours and hours and hours making sure that recalled food products are not on your store shelves. And they have no idea that today, tomorrow, yesterday, my coworkers have stopped shipments of unsafe food from crossing the border into our communities. The worst day for me as an inspector is a day that when due to cuts and inadequate support like resources, like training and equipment and people, we know we should do more, but we can't. When inspection is turned over to industry and we're restricted to checking paperwork, who could possibly think that there's no conflict of interest for industry staff to self-inspect? To tell the person who signs your paycheck that the product is good. When hundreds of shipments of food products enter Canada but are rarely ever inspected or analyzed, we just don't have the people to do it. And every inspector's nightmare. When there's a serious illness or death, the thoughts in your head, over and over again, could I have done more? Did I miss something? Was it my fault?
My name is Paul Caron. I am here today to tell you that as a retired food inspector and now a food consumer, I have very serious concerns about the safety of food for my family and for other Canadians. I worked as an inspector with Agriculture Canada and the Canadian Food Inspection Agency for 35 years. I hope by now you've all finished your breakfast, because now I'm going to tell you about some of the things I saw. From 1982 to 2005, I worked the Windsor-Detroit border, the busiest land crossing in Canada. There I inspected numerous food containers coming from the United States itself or on a transit bond through the United States from other countries. And I saw food products loaded in with toxic chemicals or rat poison, trucks with broken refrigeration systems, dirty trucks with chemical odors, and so on. On one occasion, I remember inspecting coffee beans from Colombia. I opened the transport container, and a couple rats jumped out, wide-eyed from all the caffeine. I slammed that door shut very quickly. Conducting import meat inspections, I remember refusing entry to hundreds of meat shipments, finding meat with pathological defects, dressing defects, and meat products transported in unsanitary conditions. I also saw a lot of food shipments that had been rejected by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration before being rerouted to Canada. It wasn't good enough then, and it certainly isn't getting any better. Today, no imported food gets inspected at the borders. There are no CFIA inspectors. The job I did then does not exist now. It was handed over to customs officers who, with inadequate training, little CFIA support, and no additional staff. Most importers appreciated the work I and other inspectors did at the ports of entry. They didn't want inferior, unsafe food products for processing or distribution. The work we did was a deterrent to the unscrupulous importers. I hope this government will think again and invest in strengthening the food inspection system, instead of cutting the system more and threatening the life and well-being of Canadians.